Let's go live to Deir el-Balah in central Gaza and speak to Tareq Abu Azzoum. And Tareq, as we've just been seeing there in Hind's report, people are beginning to make that journey back to their homes, but many people are simply finding a wasteland where their houses once stood. I mean, how are people coping with a loss on that scale?
Well, what we understand is that people started to return back to check on what has been left for them in the houses, as their coping mechanism reflect deeply a very controversial sense of resilience and despair. Despair, simply, we are talking about families who have returned and start seeing their entire neighborhoods reduced to the rubble. It intensifies the grief of loss, not just only for property, but also for memories and their beloved ones. Many of them have left with narrow options just to set up temporary shelters next to the ruins of their destroyed homes. Others decided to return back to their overcrowded shelters in Al-Mawasi area and in areas that were designated to be safe humanitarian zones by the Israeli military. They are struggling to access their basic necessities in their neighborhoods that were widely obliterated by the Israeli occupation forces due to the absence of water networks alongside with the proper sanitation there. But they said that they are trying to cope with all means that have left for them. We have questions many of civilians about what they will do next. They say that we will depend mainly on the humanitarian aid supplies and tents that they will be distributed by aid organizations in many areas in the Strip, so we can start having some sort of a gradual recovery from that till we witness the phase in which the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip will take place on the ground effectively. But they believe that the process of recovery will take long years in order to witness a very remarkable improvement on their lifestyle in Gaza due to the wide-scale devastation resulted from the Israeli genocidal military campaign in the Strip.
And Tareq, over the course of this Tuesday morning, we have been seeing convoys of aid trucks arriving over the border, the Rafah crossing into southern Gaza, into Rafah and Khan Yunis. So these are some of the latest pictures we've been receiving. They are of trucks laden with supplies. Obviously, the intended destination are to help those who desperately need it. There have been attempts by some clearly desperate people to try and take a few boxes off the trucks as they drive by. 600 trucks a day is the target. 915 aid trucks entered Gaza on Monday. What have you been seeing, Tareq, in terms of where the aid's going and all of these logistical efforts in terms of getting these goods to those that need it?
Well, we have been closely monitoring the flow of aid supplies to the Gaza Strip once the implementation of the ceasefire takes effect 2 days ago. And we have seen during our coverage hundreds of humanitarian aid trucks that were carrying essential food items, water bottles, and alongside with essential medical supplies for Gaza's barely functional hospitals are making their journeys to the Gaza Strip. We're talking about totally till now 915 humanitarian aid trucks were sent to the Gaza Strip. Approximately 300 of them were sent to the northern regions, and we saw that this aid will be distributed by humanitarian aid organizations in the main headquarters and warehouses across the Gaza Strip, including the distribution of food parcels, flour, alongside with essential humanitarian necessities, including water, blanket, mattresses, and tents for displaced families in order to help them to cope with the aggravating humanitarian crisis that we have been really enduring over the course of the past 15 months. And people are expecting that the humanitarian aid supplies will continue to flow to the Gaza Strip. And we have, by the way, seen some sort of a gradual decrease in terms of the prices on the Palestinian local markets. We started to see new kinds of products that we have been deprived from over the course of the past 15 months, including meat, chicken, vegetables, started to be available in the market with more low prices in comparison with the previous crisis that we have been witnessing due to the systematic looting of aid trucks by criminal gangs who are completely right now are no longer doing that looting due to the security grip that was imposed and completely made by the security forces who are securing the flow of the humanitarian aid supplies to the Gaza Strip. So Comprehensively, what we understand is that the flow of aid supplies continues smoothly to take place in the Gaza Strip, and people are cautiously optimistic about the gradual improvement of the humanitarian situation in Gaza, and they pray that to continue and last as long as both parts of the conflict are committing to the terms of the deal and will continue to maintain the agreement even in the second phase, as this has been the main focus and prayers that we have continued to be hearing from locals on the ground.
You do get a sense of the scale of the devastation as these trucks snake their way through this desolate landscape there in Gaza. Tareq, many thanks for that. Tareq Abuzin.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.